All right, it looks like I may be already logged in and ready. And of course, if you have any questions, just feel free to type them in the chat. Sometimes it could be a little bit delayed. So if I'm not able to get to the response or see it, just know that eventually I'll see it in the social platform of where you're coming from, because this is being broadcasted right now through LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, Instagram, YouTube, and this would also it's other areas as well. So if you don't, I'm not able to see your comments or anything, it's probably because I'm not able to see it just in time, because there is a little bit of a lag. All right, so let me pull up a few things because I took in a lot of notes. So I wanted to make sure that I captured everything for today's session, because I know it's an important one. And I know a lot of people have been asking me questions. So I want to make sure that um, I'm able to provide you with all the information that you're looking for and that you need in your job search. All right, so it looks like I have everything ready. All right, so today's session, I'm going to talk about what you need to do or what you need to know if you're job searching in today's market. So if you're currently job searching, or maybe you find yourself job searching now, maybe you've been impacted by a layoff or restructure, and now you weren't planning to start job searching, and you're wondering, like, what am I going to do now? Should I even bother job searching now or anything? This is the episode for you. So I know it seems like we hear every day about different companies doing layoffs or restructures, where people get impacted, have lost their jobs. And I know it feels like almost opportunities are starting to dwindle away, especially nearing the end of the year holidays. I know some of us are already like fall, pretty much Thanksgiving, which also means Christmas, and might as well mean New Year's. I might as well just pull back on everything just because everything's slowing down. But I'm here to kind of really break down what is really happening in the marketplace, how you can stand out from the competition, and what you need to know while job searching in today's market. So, if you're starting to feel anxious or overwhelmed by the entire process, that's why I created this specific podcast episode and video to give you more insight of what you need to know to stay ahead. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Claudia Miller, and I'm a career coach, and I help career driven women in tech land fulfilling jobs in less than 90 days. And on average, my clients receive a 56% in salary increases. So that translates to anywhere between 30 and even up to $140,000 in additional earned income. And no, that was not a typo or I said that incorrectly. I had a client go from 180 to making almost 320. So I definitely is possible in this happen in today's marketplace. So it's nothing like, I don't even talk about case studies pre-COVID at this point. And this also, overall, this episode and these series that I create for you is to help you land the job you want, even in a volatile marketplace like how it is at the moment. So first, what I wanted to do is address some of the comments I've been hearing from job seekers. And I want to make sure that you're able to, if this sounds like you're able to know, like, hey, I start noticing I have said those things, or I have thought about those things. You're right. So I want to bring a little bit more self awareness. But have you ever said any of the following? No one's hiring right now. We're so close to the holidays. I'll just start my job search next year. Or maybe you've said, I shouldn't bother negotiating my salary. I just need to be happy with what I get at this point. Or third, have you said, maybe I should apply to jobs that I'm overqualified for, since the jobs I'm applying for and I know I'm qualified for, I'm still not hearing back. If any of this sounds familiar, I honestly don't blame you. If I wasn't a career coach and know with everything that I know now, I would probably have the same thoughts as you are. And of course, all we hear right now is negative news about the marketplace. But I'm here to bring you some actionable insights and actually provide you with a sense of confidence and hopefully a little bit of glimpse of hope when it comes to your job search. So here are 5 insights I want to share with you. So first, there are industries that thrive during a recession. It may not feel like it, but there are industries that thrive. And some of the biggest companies have made their biggest gains in growth during our recession. So there are companies that succeed during this time place. So I actually compiled the top 7 industries according to Investopedia, that are actually recession proof and actually thrive during a recession. And I honestly included one other one that once I say, you're gonna notice, like, yeah, that industry totally grows and thrives in a recession. But honestly, this could be an episode on its own, just diving into it. And I do have a session that I've scheduled in the future that I'm going to break it down into some of these recession-proof industries. But I wanted to quickly name some of them so that way, if you're listening to this or in your job search, it can help you start, paying attention to them or start focusing on some of these industries. But the first industry right now that, like I said, I compiled 7 from Investopedia and the extra one I created. So in total, I have 8 industries you can start focusing on in your job search that we know are usually recession proof. So the first one is accounting industry. Everyone needs accountants. I don't care what company it is. There's an accounting industry. Or go for accounting companies. Maybe you're like, Claudia, I'm not an accountant. I'm a software engineer. I'm a data scientist. Well, start looking into accounting companies because we all need accountants. Businesses, people all need accountants. So maybe focusing on accounting industries. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals. People still need healthcare and they all need their meds. So they tend to thrive during a recession. Home maintenance stores. Not talking about building companies, but home maintenance stores like Home Depot or those industry types where it's not really related to construction, but it is for the consumer like you and I, if we wanted to make any updates in our home. Auto repair and maintenance. We still need those things. And like I said, if you're like, I don't know anything about cars or maintenance, I'm not a mechanic, you can still go work after those companies. Think about Advanced Auto Parts, company like that. They're probably going to be thriving during a recession because we still need them. Financial advisors and economists. When a recession goes down, people tend to want to really rely on their financial advisors to help them, kind of make gains during a recession. So those could be in another industry you can focus on. Bargain and discount stores. Think of Walmart, Family Dollar, Family Tree, below 5 or something. I can't remember the name right now. But those are companies maybe you can start focusing on because, again, they tend to be recession proof. The other one is freight and logistics. Right now, with everything, we are still behind and there's a shortage when it comes to supply chain management professionals. And these companies are thriving because, again, there has been such a backlog because of COVID and a lot of companies were impacted that overall they still need to get things transported to and from. So that, again, can be another industry you can focus on. And then lastly, number 8, alcohol industry. During the recession, people tend to drink and probably drink even more than any other time. So that could be another industry you could start looking into in regards to it. And like I said, you don't need to be an alcohol expert. I mean, alcohol companies still need an accountant. They still need engineers. They still have someone to manage their websites, or maybe want to hire a data scientist or manage their marketing. So that could be another industry you can start focusing on. Now, focus on industries that thrive during economic uncertainty and job search within those industries. If you don't have experience within that industry, work with a career coach like myself. I've helped a lot of clients pivot into different industries successfully without having to take a pay cut or without having to get a demotion, and usually without having to get an additional degree or certification. So there are definitely opportunities out there. A lot of us have a lot of transferable skills that could be applied to any industry out there. And sometimes it could be a competitive advantage. So know or work with a professional if you don't know on how to make sure you're able to market yourself, stand out from the competition, and be able to land those jobs at those industries right now that tend to thrive in a recession. 2, so as of August 2022, unemployment rate is at 3.7 according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. That's 6 million people unemployed throughout the United States, and there are over 10.1 million job openings at the moment. Now, I know that all jobs are not created equal, and there could be different types of jobs available, but that just goes to show you that there are still jobs available, and there are more job openings than job seekers. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of hope to know that, yes, the marketplace is competitive, but you can always stand out from the competition by, following me on LinkedIn. I usually offer a lot of career advice, working with a career professional, like I said, like myself, I help my clients, stand out from a saturated marketplace, but there are jobs out there. So that's a good thing. The next thing, three, do not delay your job search or put it in the back burner. So start your job search now. And I'm going to give you 4 reasons why. I know the holidays are around the corner. I know usually people tend to go on vacation. I get that. But I'm going to name you 4 reasons why you should continue with your job search. And please do not leave it to next year. Start now. The number one reason why you need to start your job search now is because you can assess whether or not your resume is performing at the level that it should. And if it's not, you can focus on making improvements on your resume or hiring a resume writing company to write that for you. It's better to do it now than to have to figure out a few months later that your resume is not performing. And it could pull you back in your job search because you don't have a good performing resume. And I know some resume writing companies right now, a lot of job seekers are looking for their services. Sometimes it can take anywhere between 7 to 21 days to get a completed resume. And I will say that in order for a resume writing professional to write a really good resume that showcases your expertise, you're going to have to tell them what you did. No one can read minds. And I know not everyone has done the same job or it's a cookie cutter because there's so many things that you have done, different systems, tools, and resources that you've used. So again, sometimes it can take 30 days because you have to tell the resume writer what you've done throughout your whole career. What are some of those metrics? Who have been some of your clients? What kind of projects have you worked on? And honestly, that's not something you can usually do in a day. It can take quite maybe a week or two for you to gather that data, then give it to the resume writing company. And then they still need to have some time to write that resume for you. So just know that it can take a while, even if you do go with a resume writing professional. So it's better to assess if your resume is performing now. If you're not getting any interviews, then at least for every 10 jobs that you apply, you should be getting 2 to 3 interviews. If you're not getting that, then look into either revamping your resume or hire a resume professional. But again, you won't know if your resume is performing if you're not applying to jobs and job searching. So that's one of the main reasons why you want to continue with your job search, to assess whether your resume is performing at the rate that it should. Next is you can also start assessing the top 3 hardest skills to hire for in the role you're applying for. Honestly, that is the secret sauce on how to help you stand out from the competition. And if you don't have those top 3 skills for whatever reason, you can now spend the time during the holiday break in acquiring them. You can use resources like LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, Coursera, and there are many others where you can take free or for a minimal, small payment of $20, $25. You can take a certification class, learn a little bit more, and get your certification. And then that way you are ready and primed and ready the next few months or at the beginning of the year to start your job search. But again, if you're not applying to jobs, interviewing, or networking, you're not going to know you're missing those skill sets. And you will have to find that out when you do start your job search at the beginning of the year. And now you've delayed again your job search because now you're spending time acquiring those skills where you could have been doing that during the holidays when it was a little bit slowed down. Next is there are companies right now that are scrambling to hire people for various reasons. I actually had a few conversations with some recruiter contacts that I have, and they say, at the end of the year, this is the biggest season where people just quit. They quit their jobs because they have that job offer, or they already got their bonus checks or performance reviews checks, or their vesting stocks have already, they've already received those funds and they were able to sell it. So now a lot of people tend to leave their jobs during the last quarter of the year. And of course, these companies have to fill those positions. So there are companies, recruiters out there that are just scrambling to fill in for those positions. And of course, they need to interview and hire people. But if you're not applying, you're not going to be able to get access to these positions. And these companies are looking to hire really quickly, again, because they didn't expect it. It wasn't like a layoff or anything. Is that employee left for whatever reason, and now they have to fill in those positions. And by the way, as of August 2022, just that month alone, over 4.2 people quit their jobs, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So That means there's about maybe 4.2 million jobs available just right off August that you want to make sure you start applying for. And that way you can get in at a faster rate than some of your maybe competition out there that maybe they decided to pull back on their job search, and you can take advantage of that. And again, four, I just talked about it. There are people that are going to pull back in their job search, and that increases your chances of getting an interview and getting that information from them because, again, they have urgency in filling out those positions. There are not as many candidates applying because everyone, is pulling back and they're not going to start till next year, and you can take advantage of that. Next thing is you want to start researching companies you'd be interested in and start paying attention to their actions. Put Google alerts and look at their numbers. Listen to their earnings call. Are they looking to make any updates? Have they done an acquisition? Have they been acquired? How did their last quarter, how were they performing? Did they exceed performance? Did they not? Did they have to do layoffs? Are there any news updates about restructures? Which are layoffs, but at a smaller amount, and then they reclassify them as restructures. And maybe they've had change of leadership. Usually when it comes to change of leadership, they bring in their own people, and some of those people get laid off. Maybe that's not the right time to go into a company. Or maybe they're announcing new partnerships or new products coming out or new releases. Those are good, positive things. So start assessing, is this company healthy or not? Are they more good than bad? Are they growing, or are they just announcing these layoffs, or they're cutting out this product or service? So those are things you want to start paying attention to because it gives you a good pulse into how that company is performing. And what I always like to do is I want to make sure that overall you gather data. The data will help you paint a picture of the company, and you can start networking with people within the organization. So that way you start gaining company insights and hear about unpublished opportunities. If you see hey, they just announced a new product or a new partnership, or they're looking to grow this department because it's been growing, they're looking to bring it into a new market, well, then that would be a company where you want to start networking, getting to know people within there, and maybe be able to land yourself a job that hasn't even been published yet. I mean, that is by far the best case scenario. Then the next thing is you want to start building a network and reaching out to employees who currently work at that desired company that you're interested in. Or you want to be able to reach out to employees that used to work at that company. Usually you want to reach out always to people that used to work at that company that look like you to get a better overview of how well is the company culture and what opportunities are there for someone like yourself. For example, for me, I'm a woman and Latina. So I would probably reach out to other people that are like me, women or women of color, and ask them, I know you used to work at this company. I just wanted to get a little bit of insights into the company overall. Did you have a lot of opportunities to get promoted? Did you see other women or women of color get promoted within the organization? Would you mind sharing with me the reason why you left? Is it because you got poached by this company? You had a better opportunity? Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Because the last thing you want to do is go into a company that has a bad company culture and can actually pull back your career or stagnate it because they're not likely to promote someone like you. So those are, kind of like a quick overview on why you need to start job searching and what you need to know in the marketplace. So I talked about the top 8 industries that are thriving right now in a recession. And I talked about right now, there are more job openings than job seekers at this point. And also right now, the reasons why you need to continue job searching. You want to make sure you know if you have a high performing resume. You want to assess what are the hardest skills to hire for. And if you don't have them, spend this time acquiring or gaining those skill sets. Also start looking at companies that are, doing really well, and then start networking within those organizations and start reaching out to people that used to work there and still continue applying to jobs because, again, towards the end of the year, people are looking to fill those jobs. Also, some companies may have budget left. Usually, they tend to be very conservative with their budget throughout the year until the end of the fiscal year. That's when they start noticing, maybe we have X amount of money left in that budget. well, I don't want to lose this budget for next year. So why don't we hire a person that can help us with this? We get to use that budget, and that way we don't lose it for next year. Because people tend to tighten up their wallets at the beginning of the year. And like companies do, they don't know what's going to happen. So they tend to stay conservative. And then towards the end of the year, if they have money left over, then they start, using up those funds again, so they don't lose that budget for next year. So, there are many reasons why you need to continue with your job search. Overall, focus on solutions. Keep your eyes out on companies and industries that are thriving at the moment. Having a volatile marketplace is nothing new. We've gone through it many times, and honestly, we'll continue to go through these slumps when it comes to the marketplace. But at the end of the day, there are companies that are making money. There are companies that are growing. There are companies that are doing really well in this economy. And a really prime example is when we all were in a lockdown in COVID-19. No one was going out. No one was traveling. A lot of companies shut down. A lot of companies lost a lot of money. Some of them, downsized, and some of them just ceased to exist, that no longer exist because of COVID, and they were impacted negatively. But yet companies like Instacart did really well, or Peloton. They were thriving during lockdown that they couldn't keep up with the demand overall. I know that I ordered a Peloton and it took me almost 8 months to get my Peloton bike. Again, because the demand was there. Yes, there were companies that didn't do so well, but yet there were companies that were doing really well. So focus on the companies that tend to do well in today's marketplace. Now, these companies that thrive in a recession may not thrive when we have an upward market where everything is good. That's when maybe travel, leisure, they start outperforming really well. Whereas in a recession, that wouldn't be the case. So start paying attention to those types of companies that are doing really well. And overall, I hope that the strategies I share with you kind of gives you a push to continue with your job search and continue moving forward. And overall, if you're feeling tired of doing it alone, or you're just not sure what to do to stand out in the marketplace, you can apply to work with me in my proprietary career coaching program, 90-Day Job Offer. So you're just 90 days away from your dream job and a dream salary to go with it. And I still have a few spots left before the end of the year. So feel free. I'll include the link for you to apply, or you can text, as you can see in the banner if you're watching on video, on where you can text apply, and then I can send you the link and information to see if you're a good fit. If you want to make sure, or you want to ask, hey, is this program for me? Will it help me, based on my background and experience? If you qualify, then you get access to my calendar, and we'll get a career call, and I'll let you know if I'm able to help you or not. But remember, overall, there are winners and losers when it comes to job searching. Either you get the job or you don't. So make sure you're on the winning side. There's enough resources out there. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You just need to go out and get it, and don't stop job searching. And if you need help, feel free to reach out. So let me know what questions you have based on everything I just shared with you, or let me know what was most helpful or you found the most insightful. All right, till next time. Bye.